Well, the cluster one is the so-called policy cluster. So it focuses on the policy aspects of the digital partnership agreements and on the INPACE project, and whatever political context in which it evolves. So I think it needs to be reminded that the technologies that are in focus of the INPACE project, so the semiconductors, AI, quantum, 5G, you name it, are all critically important or strategic technologies. So it can be so-called dual-use technologies. They can be used for civilian, military purposes. And so there's obviously states attach a lot of strategic importance to them in the context of economic security, great power competition, and strategic autonomy. So there's a lot of constraints in terms of regulations, institutional frameworks, etc., that apply to the implementation of anything that is happening around those technologies. The policy cluster aims to provide a bridge between the technical working groups and the policymaking community. So the technical working groups within the cluster deal with regulation, standardization, policy dialogues, and digital education, digital skills. But in reality, there is a policy element that is horizontal, cuts across all the technical working groups in smart cities or overarching. Know the countries. We have our networks in the countries, which are usually policy experts working on the various topics that are covered by the digital partnerships. So our role is to make sure that the priorities that are outlined in the digital partnership /TDC are kind of properly addressed within INPACE, but also on the side of our partners to make sure to see how they're perceived. What are the kind of lowest hanging fruit? What are the bottlenecks institutionally? Why some areas are perhaps easier than addressed than others? What to do they want the EU to do as part of these partnerships? What is the benefits for them, etc. So I see the policy cluster really acting a little bit as a bridge, not just between the EU and their partners on the expert level, but also within INPACE between the technical working groups and the policy community. I really believe it's high time to move from policy to action. And I'm really glad to see that INPACE, by focusing on the practical issues, by bringing in the business community, the research community, all the technical expertise, can actually make that happen. So if you want to be part of that change, part of that grand movement that will fulfill those partnership with substance, then join us at INPACE.